in that sense. Like, how do I give back in certain ways? And the conversation I had with her was more like, so what am I doing in my business that I feel makes it, I know why I feel makes it unique, but what do I feel that I'm sticking to that are the good stuff? So one of the things we do in our business is we try and ensure that we have a next to zero wastage policy. So we try and make sure that all the products we use, that we are using in our products, that we're not wasting our end product, our end stuff. We try not to use that. So we recycle our water. We plant. We irrigate our garden. I can't even get the word here. We irrigate our garden and other things, but also the type of products we use. So we talk to we make sure that we only bottle in glass. And one of the reasons we've stuck to glass is because we know that glass is a recyclable material. We've thought about how we can bring down costs and go into plastics. And yes, we know PET and all of that. But for us, it was really important to say, how do we still be a good, sustainable, ethical brand by doing that? One of the other things we do is that we try our best to source. Actually, we don't. How do I say this? We are doing it. We are 100% locally sourced business. So every single thing that we use for our drinks is locally sourced. Our bottles are manufactured in South Africa. Our caps are manufactured in South Africa. Our labels are manufactured in South Africa. Our flavor is manufactured in South Africa. Our sugar comes from Durban. Like everything that we get, there's nothing of ours that's imported. And I think for me, it's not just about ethical, it's almost about how am I servicing within my country? How am I using my local economy and continuing to pump through that, and we continue that cycle? And I think that makes me feel like that's why I love it. So even when we some of the products we don't manufacture ourselves. We have the sweets manufactured by somebody else, and obviously branded for us. It's a local company. Everybody in there is local. They supply direct to us. We can go to the factory. We can go and see it. And I think that that's so important. If we can't do everything else, I mean, I'm not going to talk about the other little projects that we do, but the biggest thing for me is how am I sourcing locally, and how am I feeling about the product that goes out there? And I feel like we have a good product that we are thinking about how we are continuing to sustain businesses within the life cycle of the product, if that makes sense. I'm taking all your questions and I'm not answering them. I'm talking about other things.
And tell us about and tell us about this to our audience, those who are in South Africa and those who are outside of South Africa as well. Those who are outside South Africa, if you get a chance to come to South Africa, please look at the calendar and come during a time, or COVID is gonna pass with you, a time where something happens called Halal Goods Market.
Yes, that is one of my favorite businesses. I absolutely love it. I love Halal Goods Market. I love it.
It's big, it's exciting, it's fun. It's got almost everything that you need and want. It's expanding every year. It's a huge, huge.
I don't need to be the biggest, but I hope to be the funnest.
It is the largest lifestyle market in Johannesburg. I know that it attracts people as far as
halal.
You know,
it's a pretty big halal food, or the idea behind having a market that would have all halal food was big for us, because you can always go to other markets and it's always a bit of a struggle. Like there's always just one person selling halal, or one person or two people selling halal, and it's always the same things. It's always like samosas, biryani. And listen, I love my samosas and my biryani, and that's a good thing. So we have goods market too, but we also have other things. We have so many other cuisines that are Korean food, Mediterranean food, and it's nice to see the variety that comes out from small businesses. I might have just chopped you over there, but you had a question, yeah.
Yeah, you just answered me, but I just wanted you to tell us, like, how did he start? How did he start, and how did he just like gain a life of his own like this?
So I think I should give maybe a little bit of background, and then the stories kind of fit together somehow. So I studied interior design, but I specialized in exhibition design. So I worked in the exhibition design industry for a long time when I first finished varsity. And I obviously, when I went into work, I worked in government for a while. I actually loved working in government in this particular sector. So I worked in the creative industry sector, looking at how small businesses could be helped to reach their potential, to access markets, to do all of those things. And the two kind of, they fitted really well together, because I understood the platforms that small businesses needed to grow, but I also started to learn the back of house of how what small businesses needed. And then I actually was having so that's just background. Then as the years went by, I was sitting one day with friends and I said, the one thing that like bugs me is that I love going to markets. I'm the kind of person who, like, if there's something going on, I want to find my closest market. No matter where I travel, I almost want to find the closest flea market, because I believe that's like full on localized experience that you get in a country. So it really excites me to look for markets wherever I travel. And I haven't traveled a lot since after I got married, but I would continue to follow markets overseas and like see what's going on, what are things going on. And one day I sat with friends of mine and I said, South Africa has such a good appetite for things, and there are many people who love halal food. But one of the things I feel is lacking is there's no market that specifically caters for that, but on a scale that is open to all. So on a scale that we're not located within a particular, let's say, Muslim or Indian or different community, but it's a market that is sitting somewhere in Joburg. We are the city. It's sitting there and it's going, hey, everybody, here's a market that has only halal food. And it's not that it's not that we're saying there'll only be Muslim vendors. We're saying only halal food, but also halal food, local fashion, local goods that are being made. And the local component comes from my background in seeing how important it is for local business to grow, to help a country's economy. And that comes from government. And the design of the market comes from my background in exhibition design. And when I had this idea, I told this, I said, I just love this idea. And I went and I registered a website and I shelved it. I was silly. I shelved it. And I got pregnant. I had a baby. And then I was chatting to another girl and she said, why is there still no market, And she said, if you don't do it, I'm going to announce it. And I said, okay, fine. I'm going to do it. And I chose a day and I said, we're going to do this thing called the Halal Food Festival. And I looked at my husband and I said, okay, we said it now and everybody knows about it, so we got to do it. And I revised it into the halal goods market because I felt like it wasn't just food. We wanted to encapsulate an audience that was larger than just food. It was food, it was local products, it was art, it was everything. Shoes, clothing, earrings, pre-packaged goods. It was a little bit of everything, kids items, There's so many things that are out there in small businesses that people don't know about. And we had our first market. We ran it on a very strict basis. So because I've been following markets both locally and internationally, I would watch kind of how are they doing this? How are they making sure that they have a variety? How are they making sure that it's not a complete repeat of the same old. And I said, well, if we do it on an application basis, we are able to curate it better. And I wanted to do it as a more curated market. So it wasn't I'm just coming there and I'm booking a store. It was this is what I sell. will it fit the market? And then we get a committee of people to look at it and go, do you think, I mean, I'm on the committee, but like we have a few people that go, we always make sure it's 5, so we never have like a split tie. But so the 5 of us will look at all the businesses, and then we'll send through our suggestions. So I'll send mine, the other 4 will send theirs, and then we'll put it together in like, these are the ones they said yay to and nay to and why or whatever. And then we would put together a curation, and then we would say, okay, from this curation, how many vendors do we have this? Let's stop at a maximum of 4 for this thing, about 5 for a different product, like ladies' dresses, 5 max, or so that we didn't have too much of the same kind of thing going on. And then we said, okay, so now that we've done this, let's go through and let's make sure that these are small businesses that are either owned by themselves or made by a company locally, and then they have an agent, so that at least 80%, let's say 70 to 80% of the businesses that come to Halal Goods Market are locally produced products, completely locally produced. If they're not, they're a product that has a demand in the market, and that would be interesting for the patrons to have. Something that like your average cool drinks. People still want that at a market. So it's something that we still allow at a market. We don't go, it's only artisan products. We go, there's a portion of it. And once we sat back at one of the markets and we said, well, let's see how many like woman-owned businesses we have. And it came down that we had at the market, I think it was 65% of the businesses that had come to the market were completely woman-owned. And for me, you know, we don't sit and we don't look at the stats enough. And I thought, wow. The other thing that is the biggest thing. So we had our first market. It was the biggest disaster success ever, the biggest disaster of a success ever, because we chose a venue too small. Somebody gave us the best compliment, which is, I think it was intended as an insult, but I took it as a compliment. And he said that you shouldn't have advertised it so well if you didn't have enough space. And I thought, wow, thank you. I get what he was saying. But I was like, thank you. And then we moved. We got a venue that was 4 times the size, and we love the space that we were in. COVID has really affected a lot of businesses, and we're very sad that we can't have Halal Goods Market. But I can tell you, we've had nine Halal Goods Markets, and it's been an awe-inspiring journey to see the businesses that started at Halal Goods Market and that are there, either they have come back, skipped a time, been back, applied, not applied, come in. But when you see the growth of a business that has come to Halal Goods Market and maybe come back after 5 or something, and you look at them, you go, wow, guys, this is amazing. And we almost have a community. We call it the HGM family. Every time before a market, we have a group of all the vendors together. And there's a really good camaraderie between everyone. We help each other. Where can I get labeling done? Where can I get packaging done? What should I do here? I don't know what to do with my stand. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make it look. And I push them really hard. I think they must be thinking I'm a complete monster. But I push them very hard to say, guys, treat your business like a business. This is not you selling out of your car boot. How are you looking to scale up? Think about how you're presenting your product to the consumer. Remember that this is an opportunity for you to get consumer feedback and to better your product, to better your business. And we've seen businesses grow, improve packaging. We've seen it, and I can't say it's Halal Goods Market. It's them. It's the people. It's not us. It's the vendors who have gone and said, wow, I now can take my product and go a little bit better. It's them helping each other. We just the conduit. We literally are just the conduit. And it's the most, the market, I want to cry every time we have the market because of all of the stress. And at the end of every market, I say, I am never doing it again. And then I do it again. I love the halal goods market. It is one of my favorite things that, favorite businesses that I've started. Like, I can't be upset. I'm so glad to have started halal goods market. Alhamdulillah.
And apart from the business side of it, and of course, this is part of the business side of it. You give platform to people like us, NPO and NGOs who do humanitarian work. And I just wanted to ask, why you identify with the Palestinian cause? Why you give like platform to people like us? And just tell us what other causes you're in. I saw on your Instagram page that you had open aid or something. But just tell us like what other causes.
Yes.
Just
so Nelson Mandela said we can't be free until the Palestinians. Is that the right quote? The one where he said,
yes.
Until the Palestinians
is incomplete. Yes.
Our freedom is incomplete, right? I think that that's very important. The fact that there are things happening in the world, like the persecution of the Palestinians, those are important issues that we cannot ignore. Even if we are going to halal goods market and we're like, I'm just here to eat and be merry and shop and ha ha ha. And there are other things that have to be incorporated in that. And this is part of our social responsibility. Social responsibility is super important to us. It's about the giving back. It's about the ensuring that we are aware of what's going on, because a lot of times we can very easily turn a blind eye to what is going on in the world. And I think that awareness is very, very important. There's a thing of awareness in education. A lot of times people who are not educated don't understand. So it's easier for them to either walk away or take a stance that they don't realize could be detrimental to a people. And I think that is especially why we want to make sure that as part of halal goods market, people who need a platform, look, we can't give everybody a platform all the time, because at the end of the day, it's a business that it's a very difficult business to make the numbers right, right? It's taken us a long time to get the numbers right, but we try and make sure that at least 2 to 3 people are given a space at our event, like Africa for Palestine, or is formerly BDS, right? I mean, we love having you guys there, and we think it's an important conversation that you can have directly with consumers. You can have directly with people who come to you, and you can talk to them about the cause, because seeing things online and everything is great, and we're always watching these things, but we never have a direct conversation with people, and this is an opportunity to have a direct conversation. And we do the same thing with Islamic Relief. They're doing such amazing work that we're very happy to give them a space. Africa Muslims Agency as well, we haven't given them a space yet because sometimes we just haven't had a space, but I work with Africa Muslims Agency as well, and they're doing incredible work in Lebanon, everywhere. I mean, there's so much of good work going on. Islamic Relief is doing the Syria, Yemen campaign this year. And I think that it's very important when people see it directly and they're talking to the people who have been on the ground in person. There's nothing like a human face-to-face interaction, and we know that. And for that, we will always want to be able to give to these kind of efforts in organizations, always.
And we really do. I speak to all of us at the Africa of Palestine team. I think we appreciate your efforts. We appreciate your.
We have one guy who's a vendor at Halal Goods Market, and he's a Palestinian guy, Osama. He makes the best baklava. He's probably one of the busiest guys at the Halal Goods Market. So and he talks about it, and he says, back home, the situation it's difficult, and I want to go back home, but the situation is difficult. If I go in, I'm stuck there for 3 months before I can come back. So he tries to earn and send home to his family.
Just to wrap it up, Fehmz, and I really enjoyed this discussion. And we ask this to almost all our guests who come on the webinar series on their particular field of expertise. What would you say to young women who are watching this and who will watch this in the future, who want to venture in the business, who are scared of taking risk, who who probably don't know what to do. What advice do you have those young students in varsity studying towards business and so on? Some who look up to you as a successful businesswoman in South Africa.
Oh,
what
gosh.
message do you have for them?
The first message would be, don't see me and think I'm successful. I'm still busy climbing. I'm still in the mud, guys. I'm still in the mud with you. One of the biggest things I want to say for anybody who wants to start a business, yes, there is definitely risk. Will you succeed the first time? I don't know. You don't know. Will you fail at certain things? Absolutely. Will you make mistakes that you forever regret? I make mistakes. Even this morning, I made a mistake that I'm regretting the whole day. Yes, you will make mistakes that you will regret. Will you learn from every one of those mistakes? Heck yes. Is it worth the risk? How will you know something will succeed if you don't try? You don't know. I may have lost my life savings. I may have had to sell my jewelry. But every one of that was worth it for the lesson that I learned. And if I had to do it again, I would do it again. It's okay. I don't wear the jewelry anyway. I needed the money to start the business. And or to pay the credit card. But anyway, but if you don't start it, if you don't start and you don't fail and you don't start again and you don't fail again and you don't start again, you may not get to that point where you're going to see success because you think that failure is the end point. Failure is not the end point, it's the start point. So try it, because you never know. A lot of people go, but what if I fail? But what if you succeed? What if one thing in what you do takes you there? Then that's the thing. And you're never going to know if you don't try. So you know what? I was also very scared. I was absolutely scared. So I'm not saying take the leap, throw away your job, throw away opportunities and just like go in and start your business. And I'm saying that because when I come from a space where I needed to pay rent, I couldn't just jump and say, I'm just going to leave. Up until October of last year, I had a full-time job. Well, up until the year before, July, it was full-time. Up until October last year, I was still working a 4-day week, a 3 to 4 day week for a company, because I was scared. I was scared of not having a salary a month because my business didn't give me a salary. And leaving the company, I built the businesses. I ran halal goods market while having a job, but I really pushed hard. I had nights, weekends. I didn't sleep. If you have the opportunity and you have a business that is making for you money, then by all means, do me a favor, take the leap, go for it. If you don't, if you're starting small, then don't feel like you have to leave what you have to start. Just start. Start, let it get there. Let it feel like it's overtaking you, and then take the leap. And it's okay to do that. I think people feel like it's not okay to be cautious and take risk at the same time. It's okay to do anything. There's no rule. And don't feel like there's a rule. If you want to start your business, find something you're passionate about. And don't say, I love doing art and I don't want to make my passion into a business. I get that, but find the product that you feel is solving a problem and just start making it, start experimenting on it, start telling people about it, and start within your circle. Start in your circle, start with your family, start with your friends, and then start going out of that circle. And you'll see it'll just start to grow and grow. And take the criticism. Please take the criticism. It's very hard to take criticism. Try to distinguish between what is constructive criticism and what is destructive criticism. I still struggle with it, but take it, because every piece of criticism you can learn from and you can better your business from. If I can tell you anything about starting your small business, stop waiting for the time to have to start it. just start it. I hope that helps.
Yes, definitely. Fehmz, thank you so much for accepting my invitation and joining our. We really do appreciate
Thanks for having me. I was so nervous, and now I'm like,
look at you now.
okay.
And thanks for being yourself in this. And I speak for the audience as well, that this is very enjoyable to watch and to listen to. To those who have questions for Fehmz, she's very active on the socials, very active. You can find her on the gram, on Instagram at Fehmz, Fehmz, on Twitter as well as at Fehmz. On Facebook, she's doing Fehmz. That's the only person who pops up as Fehmz on Facebook. You'll find a page there. Send your question to her. Send a tweet, send a DM, send a comment, and she'll be able to respond to your question. This video will.
Fehmz Mocktails, you can go at Fehmz Mocktails. You can find Fehmz Mocktails there. You can go at Halal Goods Market. You'll find our handles for Halal Goods Market there. I keep my businesses separate because it's important to separate between the personal and the way the businesses goes, just so it's not confusing for the consumer and the other person as well. But please hit me up, no problem.
Great, thank you so much. And to our audience, if you've not come to the Halal Goods Market, just make sure
when we have it again.
When we have it again, make sure you do an exciting experience.
We have a plan in place.
Great.
We have a plan in place. I really appreciate you having me. This was so fun.
Wonderful. We appreciate it. Thank you again. Have a good evening. And we hope to see you soon, very soon.
Very soon. Assalamu alaikum. Ya bonga.
Bye.